What's going on, folks? Ike here once again, and it's time for another fragrance review. Here's one that you don't see that often. This is a review of Givenchy Play Intense. Let me get that thumbnail really quick. Thumbnail. You got me, you got the bottle, and we're happy. We're happy, see? Happy me in a bottle. There's the thumbnail, bam. I usually don't comment on bottles, but this one in particular looks really cool. It actually resembles like an MP3 player. There's like a play button, and there's like a rewind and fast forward. It's actually a neat little design. It's got a sprayer that's built into the bottle, which is a really nice touch. The presentation is really nice. Who cares about the sprayer? Really nice sprayers, nice distribution. This fragrance kind of falls in the category of what I like to call the Pastry Gourmand. And there's a ton of fragrances that smell like this. It's basically a gourmand. It smells like a cookie, a pastry. It smells like a dessert. The formula for these pastry gourmands, it's usually the main accords are like vanilla, chocolate, tonka, benzoin, some really sweet notes that give you the impression of like a pastry, a dessert, a cookie. To balance out those sweet pastry accords, they usually have at the base, they'll have patchouli, woods, leather. They'll put some vetiver, lavender, and some citrus on top. Some citrus on top to freshen it up on the initial spray. But in all, they kind of all follow the same formula. Smells similar to Michael Jordan Legend, Playboy VIP, and I made a video of it. I made a hyper gourmand. This is actually my own creation, and it came out really freaking good. They're only good in cold, cool weather. It's very seasonal, and it's a very kind of specific kind of scent. They generally last really long, which makes them suitable for the winter, but they're not very strong projectors generally. And there are certain different blends of this kind of cologne. Like some of them will add little coffee into it, or some will add like a couple spices in it to kind of change it up from the other one. And just off the top of my head, I drew up a bunch of these, but they all kind of fit that genre. They all smell great, and I think it's good to have at least one bottle of this style cologne in your collection. Women like these kinds of scents, and they're generally crowd pleasing, and they don't project very strongly, but when they're skin scents and it's an intimate situation, they could be very magical. They're just really good to spray on if you're going to go to a coffee shop, or if you're going to drink some coffee. For some reason, a scent like these and a cup of coffee goes together very well. And when I'm Uber driving in the winter, I'm usually sipping on a cup of coffee while I drive, and if I wear this scent, I do get compliments, unsolicited compliments. I know a lot of fragrance reviewers out there talk about how many compliments they get, but honestly, compliments are kind of rare. I mean, Givenchy Play, this one is on the expensive side. It's a designer, about $60 for a bottle of this, but I guess it's designer. It was endorsed by Justin Timberlake when it came out, so you're paying for marketing, you're paying for the really cool looking bottle design, which I really don't care for. Playboy VIP, which I have here, and I'm very familiar with, and I do wear it. Playboy VIP is good in a sense where it has a note of rhubarb, which gives it like a fruity freshness to it, which makes it more versatile than the others, where you could probably get away with wearing Playboy VIP in the spring and fall. Michael Jordan Legend, textbook, vanilla, chocolate, tonka, lavender, and some woody masculine notes. Came out in 1997. Playboy VIP came out in 2012. This Givenchy Play, Givenchy. Givenchy came out in 2008. Michael Jordan Legend was a very good one, very inexpensive. You get it for under $15. Came out in 1997. Bond number 9, New Harlem. Honestly, I've never smelt it, but it's compared often to Michael Jordan Legend. That came out in 2003. So all those people that say that Michael Jordan Legend is a clone of New Harlem, I think it's the other way around, because the New Harlem one is 2003, Michael Jordan Legend is 1997. That's a big 6-year difference there. Angelman came out in 1996, and it has a ton of flankers, has a really strong fan base. Pure coffee, they have pure malt, they have a whole bunch of different flankers. It's also known to have like a tar note, which some people love, some people hate. Cuba Prestige is also it's an excellent pastry gourmand. Rochas Man, which I've never owned Rochas Man, but a friend of mine had it, and he swears by it. He said it's amazing. Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo, I smelt it once at Century 21, and I thought it was really good. I just didn't end up buying it. It's something like $40 a bottle. The Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo is known to smell like tiramisu. Some are more masculine than others. Some are fruitier, like the Playboy VIP is fresher and fruitier. So there's like different blends, but in general, they're pretty much all in the same category of cologne. Al Rehab oils. I've also went through some Al Rehab oils. The Golden Sands and Choco Musks are extremely good, but they tend to lean very feminine. Now, what can I advise you? I think it's good to have one of these in your collection. They're not versatile at all. So I would just suggest you get one bottle of these, and I think any one of these would work. They all smell great. They're all long lasting, and they all have like moderate projection. So they're not really projection monsters. I would recommend Cuba Prestige. You can get it for under $10. If you're into these kinds of scents and you want to wear it on different seasons, I would suggest you get Playboy VIP. I say Playboy VIP is one of the more versatile ones because of the rhubarb, fruity, fresh note. Bond Number 9 by New Harlem. I've never smelt it, but it is niche and it's way too expensive. Angelman and their flankers. I mean, Cuba Prestige smells a lot like Angelman. There are certain flankers that people love, like Pure Malt. There's some frag heads I see on YouTube, some fragrance reviewers that have like the entire Amen line all lined up behind them because they're like, hey, look, I must be an expert in fragrance because I have all these bottles behind me. But I think Amen is still a little overpriced. The Angelman and the flankers go for about $80. Maybe you can get Angelman and some flankers at discounters, maybe $50. But it's still overpriced for what it is. Michael Jordan, I think, is a great value. I think it smells fantastic. And whenever I wear that one, I do get compliments. So firsthand, I would say this is fantastic. Givenchy Play is a little too expensive. Rochas Man, which I haven't smelled, but has gotten a lot of praise from people that I know. I think that might be a good one because this one's not very expensive either. I think Rochas Man goes for about $20. Michael Jordan Legend goes for about $15. Playboy VIP is probably $10. Cuba Prestige, less than $10. So you don't need to spend a lot of money. I would say just get one of these and you'll be set when you want to go to the coffee house in the wintertime, or if you want to, hang out with your girl and it's an intimate setting and if you want to smell tasty and sweet and delicious. I would go crazy, just a small bottle, I'd say a 50 milliliter bottle, because generally you're not going to be able to use it throughout the year. If you're meeting somebody for a cup of coffee, just any kind of winter activity, where you're going to be, have close encounters. These things can be very magical in close encounters because they're sweet, and then they have the masculine base they balance it out with the masculine base. I like all of these. The only thing I don't like about them is their lack of versatility. You can only wear it in the winter. They kind of tend to lean a little feminine, so it's like you got to be careful with that. You're a man, and sometimes you don't want to smell like a cupcake. That's when you want to wear this. You got to be confident with your sexuality. If you don't mind people calling you cupcake, honey bun, once in a while. If you're living in a cold environment where it's cool a lot of the time, if you're in Canada, Alaska, you should have one of these. I wouldn't say you buy several of them because they are kind of redundant. They may have their slight differences here and there, but they kind of are redundant. Unless you're a collector and you got money to throw away, that's up to you. But I would suggest you just get one 50 milliliter bottle that'll last you years, because it's strictly a winter scent for the most part. The Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo, I'd like to definitely try that one because I love tiramisu. Spraying on a pastry gourmand and having a cup of coffee is nice. Cheers. Well, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I will smell you later.